Hey guys, welcome back. My name's Evan Morgan, and today's episode is going to be a little bit different. I would like to try and upload on here more frequently for you guys, so I'm going to experiment with some shorter videos. I know there are two types of people that sub to this channel. There are producers, artists, and audio engineers who are interested in learning about audio mixing and audio engineering, but there are also people who don't follow music production who want a behind-the-scenes look at some of the artists that work with me, namely Tom Macdonald and Hart. So I will continue to keep making long-form videos that go deep into audio engineering and audio mixing. But I'm also going to be starting a series of shorter videos called Mix Highlights, where I'll go through the song and point out some of the cool elements in the production and the mix, or point out some of the ear candy that you might not have heard the first couple times you listen to the song. So welcome to the first Mix Highlight for the song Church by Tom Macdonald and Hart, featuring Nova Rockafeller. Let's dive in. Okay, so this is the mix session for Church. These are the drums up at the top. These are all instruments here. Tom's guitars and some effects, which we'll talk about. And then after that, we've got all vocals. So off the top of the song, we have this main guitar part, which Tom played himself. He recently got a guitar, or Nova got him a guitar, and he's been teaching himself to play. And so all the guitars on this song are played by him. This is the main part here. So we got some nice reverb and delay on there, give it a nice atmosphere, kind of set the mood. He also played in a piano, just to add some different notes, a little harmony with that, which is really nice. And then we get into his verse here. So this is his main verse vocal.
I need a short drink or a long prayer. I've been sober, but I don't care. I'm so scared of my own self. I get no help, and that's no fair, so don't go there. I've been hell and back.
So very simple production in this spot. It's just one voice for the most part, one take. So most of it is in Tom's delivery and his performance. I did a little processing here. This is before.
I've been sober, but I don't care. I'm so scared of my own self. I get no help, and that's no fair, so don't go there.
After.
I've been sober, but I don't care. I'm so scared of my own self. I get no help, and that's no fair, so don't.
So I've got a whole nother video on mixing vocals, mixing Tom's voice in particular. So I'll put it up in the little eye links there if you're interested in learning more about these different processes on his voice and how I mix vocals. You can check that video out. And we get to the pre-chorus of Tom's verse here.
I went to church, now I need liquid courage. Whiskey in my glass, I take the knives out of my...
So a couple of cool things here. Tom's been getting more cinematic with his audio. He's obviously always thinking and collaborating with Nova about what the video's gonna look like. And that's starting to creep into his music as well, which I find really cool. So going back to No Response and Best Rapper Ever, you'll start to hear a lot of movie sound effects in his songs. There's some knife swipes, there's cars screeching, there's gunshots, there's all kinds of cool effects. So he does find ways of sneaking those in just to kind of add more atmosphere to the music. So in this pre-chorus, there is a wind effect. There is a crow, and there's a thunderclap. So all of that is actually in his pre-chorus just to kind of put you in the scene. It subconsciously makes you think about those kind of elements. Sounds like this.
This shit don't work, it hurts. I went to church, now I need liquid courage. Whiskey in my glass, I take the knives out of my back to stir it. Go to hell and back again, then show you burns to prove I earned it. I need...
The other thing with this pre-chorus is there is a low tom vocal in there, which is very similar to what we did with Best Rapper Ever. So you can go check that video out with this kind of low voice using mainly Little Altar Boy. Sounds like this.
I went to church, now I need liquid courage. Whiskey in my glass, I take the knives out of my back to stir it. Go to hell and back again, then show you burns to...
And together.
I went to church, now I need liquid courage. Whiskey in my glass, I take the knives out of my back to stir it.
So that adds some nice weight to this section, because obviously this is a very heavy section lyrically, so that kind of helps that along. And so that takes us to the hook.
I'm just a person.
I pray on my way to the liquor store that they lock.
Now, instrumentally, Tom's added some more guitars. He's got some chords. He's got some octaves. And then he's got the guitar lead. So, together with the rest of the music, so he definitely learned guitar pretty quick. I am extremely impressed. For vocals, just a lot of vocal stacks. So Tom has got the lead here.
I pray on my way to.
There's Brandon doubles, 2 Brandons doing doubles.
I pray on my way to the liquor store that they locked.
Tom took care of the low octave.
I pray on my way to the liquor store.
He added his own doubles with a slightly different texture.
I pray on my way to the liquor.
Quite bright sounding, just to give it that texture. Nova took the high octave.
I pray on my way to the liquor store that they
And then there's little fillers here with just some different notes, just for a little harmony.
I pray on my way.
So all together, it sounds like this.
I pray on my way to the liquor store that they lock the door, 'cause I'll lay in my grave if the.
So definitely stacked. Now, when we get to the B section of the hook, some of those stacks go away and they're replaced by other ones. There's more Tom stacks.
I'm scared, I send out a prayer.
And Brandon actually jumps up to a harmony, and we have a low octave and a high octave version of that.
I'm scared, I send out a prayer. Can anybody?
And that is a little bit of a pop punk kind of third harmony. Sounds like this with Tom.
I'm scared, I send out a prayer. Can anybody hear me? Is anybody there? 'Cause
Which is cool. We've also still got Nova in there, obviously. She's doing the high octave.
I'm scared. I sent out a prayer. Can anybody hear me?
All together, sounds like this.
I'm scared, I send out a prayer. Can anybody hear me? Is anybody there?
Now, the other thing that I added were some vocal delay throws. I have a whole other video on how I usually approach delay throws, so I'll put that in the links as well. These little green blobs are specific words that are popping in the gaps between the vocals, just to kind of add to the hookiness. It gives it a little bounce, which is nice. I'll play it with Tom here.
I'm scared, I send out a prayer. Can anybody hear me? Is anybody there? 'Cause honestly it hurts and every day is worse. I keep buying whiskey when all I need is church.
So,
I'm scared, I send out a prayer. Can anybody hear me? Is anybody there? 'Cause honestly it hurts and every day is worse.
So that's what's going on with the hook. Now we get into Brandon's verse, and Tom's verse was just the one vocal, but Brandon's is actually 2, quite subtly. So this is the main one.
I keep talking to God, but he don't hear me. And my demons are there, always listening.
But throughout the whole verse, there's actually a high octave that he sang as well. It goes like this.
I keep talking to God, but he don't hear me. And my demons are there, always listening.
Using Little Altar Boy again, just to kind of shift the sound a little bit. Together, they sound like this.
I keep talking to God, but he don't hear me. And my demons are there, always listening.
And the idea behind that wasn't to have 2 distinct voices. It was more just to add that brighter, higher texture to his very low, very deep voice. So together.
I keep talking to God, but he don't hear me. And my demons are there, always listening.
And when his doubles come in halfway through, they're actually in a harmony again, kind of like the chorus.
I'm on a ship in a bottle, so say goodbye at the shore. Break the glass or you'll find me, I'm not who I was before.
Just that major third again. And then we get to the pre-chorus, and those little effects come back. Which is cool. So those are in Brandon's pre-chorus as well. But then we also added these little whispers in there, which are kind of cool. See if you can catch them.
Those church pews, bright lights, whiskey glasses, bottles of booze, make short days, turn long nights, the bottle, the...
And on their own, they sound like this.
Church pews, bright lights, short days, long nights.
Which is kind of cool. And then we got another hook, and we get into the bridge. So this bridge is actually one of my favorite parts in this whole song. It goes back to Tom on his own in this with this main voice.
I can't read, but the Bible's still with me. My eyes can't.
And that's just his main guitar. And those delay throws are still in there, filling the gaps.
With me, my eyes can't see.
So the second half of this bridge, there's something really interesting. We actually added a harmony late in the mixing stage. So this was a fabricated harmony. Normally Tom would just sing this, or, you know, in this case, maybe we would have gotten Brandon to sing it. But we were kind of at the last stage of mixing, and we just wanted something to color the second half of this bridge. So the harmony is a third below, which can be quite dark and ominous sounding, and it sounds like this.
I don't believe anybody will miss me.
I don't believe anybody will miss me.
I don't believe anybody will miss me. And I'm on my knees. Tell me, God, are you listening?
I just love the way that note moves midway through the held note. And it gives a really good tension chord there before going into the last chorus. Here it is one more time.
And I'm on my knees. Tell me, God, are you listening? I pray on my way to the
So hit the thumbs up if you like this video and you'd like me to make more. Let me know down in the comments which song you'd like me to feature next in this mix highlight series. Happy mixing, and I'll see you in the next one.